Hello, students. A very beautiful evening to you all. Yes, today is our D Day, the final class in HED 103 Introduction to Health Education. Yes, we have hit our 8th week in this course. We started 8 weeks ago, and today is the last class. And this class is also an interesting one like the others. By the way, I am Dr. Gloria Aneto, your facilitator for this course. 2 weeks ago, we examined tools used in health education. Last week, we examined methods used in health education. And today, we shall examine assessment methods in health education specifically. And we are also going to look at the importance of assessment. Assessment is a very important tool in any setting. So we shall talk a lot about the importance of assessment. It's going to be as interesting as all the ones we've had. I told you that because health education is very interesting, you learn new things every time, and today we are going to examine another interesting topic. So let's go to class. Welcome to class. Our intended learning outcomes are as displayed. Define assessment in health education. Describe the types of assessment methods used in health education. And enumerate the advantages and disadvantages of each assessment method in health education. The course outline is displayed. Yes, assessment method plays a very essential role in learning outcome. You will be exposed to the assessment methods used in health education and the importance of assessments. Basically, we are going to look at the importance of assessments and the various types and how we can use them. What is the meaning of assessment in health education? Learning assessment is the method of gathering data or facts. Learning assessment may be a technique of teaching and learning that produce feedbacks that help to improve students' learning outcome. Importantly, evaluation is the way teachers collect facts about their teaching as well as students' learning. An assessment gives to prove that students are learning and are building capacities to contribute to reliable behavioral results in which the health educator and learning procedures are contributing to students' accomplishment of health education principles. What am I saying here? Telling you that it is with this assessment that the teacher can build capacities in the students, and they will also be able to develop reliable behavioral results that they can be equipped and be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish, because you have assessed them and they have known how much they know, and they know their weaknesses, they know their strengths, and they know what to go and work on. Yes, as usual, we have our first activity. You follow the link displayed here on this slide, and in that link you will find some questions, and I have said the assignment here is to answer questions 3 and 5 in the link provided. So you go there, see the questions, and you answer them. What is the importance of assessment in health education? Mind you, what I'm giving you here is just a peanut. Go and read your books. Go and read the links provided for more information. Your course material, your lesson notes, the links provided, your virtual library, putting all together, you're going to get a lot of information to equip yourself. Learning assessment helps to bridge the gap between the current levels where the learner is and level the learner should be to achieve good learning outcome. So it is a bridge between the two. When you assess the student where he is right now, to see where he's going to be next, you'll be able to know that this is where I am and that is where I'm going. You'll be able to know, how will I get there? Am I there? No, I'm not yet there. Oh, if I'm there, beautiful. But if not, you know how to double up your steps, how to work harder, how to improve, and what to improve on. That's what we are trying to say in that bullet. Assessment is important to assist teachers direct changes in health instruction, arranging and teaching. You see, if the teacher does not assess what the students are doing and what they know, the feedback is actually from these students when the teacher is there asking them some of these questions, interacting with them. Then they can know how to direct changes in the instruction. The way I'm going, it's like these students are not following me. They are not understanding. Maybe I should go this way. It should make it clearer. You change your style. That's what it means. What we are saying there is that it will help the teacher to be able to change her style or his style as necessary. The importance still continues, but I'm not going to say everything so that we can move. They are all there. I've listed them in your lesson notes and in all the virtual library you have there. You have many of these things there, so I won't waste your time much. I just put them here in the slides so that you can go back at your own pace again and look at them well. But one point here I want to say is that assessment plays a key role in developing your confidence in your ability to learn, as well as in developing your lifelong learning skills. You know, as we have been having this class, we have been having assessments. From time to time, I ask you questions, we answer, we interact. That is an assessment. We're already doing it. And when you get the answers correct, you are happy. You now know that, oh, you really know what this woman wants from us. This is our teacher. We know where we are going. And you want to do more. So it builds your confidence and improves your skills. Types of assessment. There are 3 major types. There are many types. In some books you see 6, some you see 5, but 3 major types are what we are giving you here in this course of this HED 103. You have the diagnostic type, you have the formative, and the summative. These are the 3 main types we are giving you here, and you must know them and be able to write on each of them when you are asked. Though these 3 generally referred to as assessments, there are distinct differences between the 3. So let's go and see the differences. We pick them out as we are talking. The diagnostic assessment can help you identify students' current knowledge of a subject, their skill and capabilities, and to clarify misconceptions before teaching takes place. You know, if you recall, at the very first time we met in this class, I was asking you questions and I told you we want to know what you know from known to unknown. That is diagnostic assessment. We want to know how much you know. We want to know whether there are some confusions to even correct from inception. So that is diagnostic assessment. Knowing students' strengths and weaknesses can help you better plan what to teach and how to teach them. So that is one of the good advantage that we can talk about here concerning this diagnostic. As the name goes, it's diagnostic. That is, it's trying to find out where the ability ends as you are going to enter that course. And various types of diagnostic assessments, there are many. like pre-test. If I gave you a pre-test when you started, like if you must have answered some people's question paper interview, or when they are collecting data, they say, okay, let's give you a pre-test, after which you take a post-test, so that we now know where you started from and now where you are. But in our own class this time around, we didn't have a pre-test, but we had an interaction that made me know your ability. Self-assessment, identifying skills and competencies. That is diagnostic. You can still do self-assessment of yourself, you doing it and seeing where you stand, and so on and so forth. We don't want to dwell so much on this. They are there, you go and read them. Formative assessment, which is the second type of assessment. As the name suggests, you are forming somebody. You are trying to make somebody to be something. Formative assessment provides feedback and information during the instructional process while learning is taking place and while learning is occurring. So when you are forming, is that time during the course of learning, like as we were doing here, well, in these 8 weeks, during the course of learning, we were asking questions and trying to see what we know, what we have read, what you have watched in the video, what were your take, your confusion that you needed clarifications for, and what have you. All this happening at that time is what we call formative assessment. It measures students' progress, but you can also assess your own progress as an instructor. That means it's not only students. As you're assessing the students, you're also knowing by yourself whether you are doing well. Because if your students are answering you well and they are following, you feel also happy that you are doing something. And the students too feel happy when they are also following you and know how your style of teaching, of your facilitating, then you are also happy, and so on and so forth. There are so many. I don't want you to stay long in this class, longer than usual. So let us go to, we continue. Well, let me just give 1 or 2 more points about that when you do the one we call homework. It's a formative assessment. You go and do it at home and you bring it and see whether you have been able to follow, just like the assignments I give you and say go and do this, do assignment, don't do it. It's like that's like a homework. And so you want to know how much the students know and how they stand, so those are the things. Question and answer sessions, these are all formative. Asking you question in the class, so when you are looking at me, you are not answering, I will say, oh, this is a weak student, he doesn't really know. But when you are answering and we are all talking together, talking and responding to questions, I say, yes, these students are trying their best. So all these are formative, and so many. So let's continue. I'm no more going to talk more about formative now. We go to summative. Now, the summative one, assessment takes place after the learning has been completed and gives data and criticism that sums up the instructing and learning process. So what are we saying here? Learning has finished. Like now, as we are rounding up today, we can now decide to say, well, if we had more than 1 hour here for this class, which unfortunately not, we can say, okay, 1 hour we have used to interact, the remaining minutes let us have what we call a summative assessment. We can now decide to to ask questions, and sometimes we even ask and score you so that oh, your response now I give you 8/10, you 7, you 9, you 6, and this is summative. Now there's no more teaching taking place. I want you to note that is summative. It's usually at the end of the semester to assess what has been learned and how well they have been learned. You see, so that is summative now, at the end, to see how much you have learned and what has been learned, and how you can apply what you have been hearing in the last 8 weeks. Yes, that is summative assessment. So, like the other point I also want to note is that it is more goal oriented and assesses the outcome, whereas formative assessment focuses on the process toward achieving the goal. When we're doing formative, we are still there in the class. It's a process, we are following it towards where we are going to. But at the end, we have gotten to our bus stop. Now, summative. That's the goal-oriented. Now, how have we fared? So as time goes on, you will be able to note very well the differences of these two. In all the links I gave you, they talked about summative and formative especially. Diagnostic is very simple. That one is basic. They want to assess you before you start. But the one people confuse the most is summative and formative. And so you have to take good note of their differences. It continues with examples, and we are saying the examples is like your examinations. Whether it's midway, midterm, a final exam, all these fall under the group of summative. Even the project you are going to write is summative because it's at the end. That's what you are going to write to present to us to be eligible to graduate, and so on and so forth. There are so many. Look for them in your books. So, in this class, we have learned about assessment and it's a procedure of gathering data, of gathering information that will help us to know how we fare, how we are faring in what we are doing, or how we fared at the end of it. So it is basically information that we collect to know how to adjust, to improve, and to continue whether we are doing when we think we are doing well. So I won't say so much about that. That is, in conclusion, we have taught the meaning of assessment. We have talked about the types. We have talked about what each one does and at what stage we use each one. So that is it about this class. We are now going to look at our second activity. Follow the link as displayed and state the distinction between assessment and evaluation. These are two words that are so close and they are used interchangeably most times, but there is a difference. And you are going to find out that difference in this link displayed here. Do it as usual and submit to your VLE. So I'm very happy to tell you a big bye-bye, a big one, a very big one. See you some other time. Have a very nice examination and end of semester. Thank you. Bye-bye.